Happy Sunday. I thought I'd do a little garden tour to walk around the house. That's my hanging basket this year. I love that shade of pink, New Guinea Impatient. And then if you come out our front gate, we've got our shade garden. It's got a lot of sun in there, so I don't know if you'll see how lime green that really is, but that'll get flowers at some point, but it grows like a weed. I can't remember what it's called. There's our holly bushes. That one's starting to come back better after the bombers bombed our property 2 years ago. And then this is sweet woodruff, which is a crazy ground cover that just takes over, but it's easy to manage. We've got our hostas, and oh boy, on the spot, I'm not going to be able to remember the names of anything, but I call those my fairy flowers, but I'll come back to that. I'll think of what it's called. And japonica, it's a little japonica. I don't think it gets enough sun. It's never gotten too big. And this is another form of a japonica. And where I don't have the sweet woodruff ground cover, I have this lamium ground cover, which really takes over. And I've pruned it way back, but I like having it. I don't have to put down as much mulch. That's oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to remember the names of anything, but I've got a lot of wild phlox in here. Oh, bleeding heart, sorry, it's a bleeding heart. And that's rhoda, our new rhododendron that we put in this year. Used to have a great big bush here, but I worried about bad guys being able to hide behind it. So now I have something I can feel better about security-wise. So my two baskets this year. Of course, a garden cat. But those are an impatient that ends up looking like a rose. And that's a geranium and a little coleus and some little alyssum. And that is a giant hydrangea that takes over. That's the front walkway. And then we have all of this crazy echinacea, the purple coneflower, that really took over this corner. I just kind of let this section do what it wants. There's another kind of a little iris, wild iris in there. Those were the purple alliums that are spent now, but I'll leave them up for a little bit. They have some good interest for the garden, even though they're green. There's the end of my pink azalea. There's my clematis that I waited too long to start trailing up, and so now it's got a nice dead section, but it'll come back around. I've got to take him and unweave him around that phlox and put him back around the pole. And then there's some begonias I'm trying to save. They got caught in a storm and didn't do too well, so they're coming back. Some leftover alyssum and some impatiens. Those will thrive by the end of summer. And this is this section of that. More of the sweet woodruff. A whole bunch of my fairy flowers, which begins with an A. I still can't think of the name of it, but it'll come back. Over here at the mailbox, we have a little mailbox garden from the replacement mailbox after the bombers bombed the mailbox as well. But just put some annuals in there, and that's a yellow echinacea that's getting ready to pop. There I have little bear treats for anybody in the neighborhood if they're coming by. Just for this weekend. It's been nice to do. I can't throw away all of those good treats. So back around, this was my favorite tree. This big flowering crabapple. It has beautiful pink flowers in the early spring, and the bumblebees love it, and you can hear the whole tree buzzing, and it smells so pretty. So this is back in the other side of that. There's that lime green one. And then there's a million lily of the valley in there, and I see that I've got other things that are sneaking in there. I'm not sure if that's going to be little wild phlox or if that's some primrose that jumped from the back. But the hollies are starting to look better. Oops, there's a weed in there. Can Can you spot the weed? It comes in overnight. So this is another pear tree. This lamium just keeps pushing out farther into the yard. I keep cutting it back. This is our gated part, which, see anything wrong here? One beautiful holly bush and one dead holly bush, which I think I killed from smacking into the trunk of it too hard with the lawnmower. I think I killed it, but gotta dig that up. Never gonna find one that matches that. So we haven't done anything yet because I don't have any ideas. I like the idea of something balanced on either side, but I'm gonna have to either dig out both of them, or I don't think I'll ever find one to match. But any ideas, send them along. And this is the front corner of our fence, and that's a flattened section that cuts across there because we live on a corner. And this little garden here, that's my no pooping sign, because people like to let their dogs poop here and leave it. Tried to put something different in the middle here. Those are supposedly white hostas. They don't look like they're doing very well. I bought them as bare roots, so they might take a while, but the plaque should come any day. We're gonna put Bear's memorial plaque right there, because this was Bear's yard for sure. So that's the outside of our fence and our corner lot. And we'll go back over this way and into Bear's yard. Don't mind this, we're getting the power washer next week. We'll do the house and all the fencing that's so filthy. There's our little bird house. There's always a bird family that lives in there and puts in a nest. And then this little section here I dug out so that we could do a little memorial with our friend that got us a beautiful blue hydrangea to put in there, and a little stone for Bear from the other neighbors. But it's our little swing where we used to sit and always watch Bear, so it's a little sad now, but we'll come around. And then this is the side of the house. We put that window in when we put the fence in so we could see Bear in the yard. And we just have that stone wall is one of the reasons why I wanted to buy the house. That was here, and I just loved the stone wall, and I thought I could do great things for gardening, and sure enough, it worked out pretty nicely. This is St. John's wort right here that has great big beautiful yellow flowers on it. Kind of blocks our HVAC system, and you can see down in there, those will be 12 feet tall, and it'll just take up this whole space. And those are giant pie plate sized hibiscus. They're so pretty. But Bear's yard I didn't put any more flowers in here because it was enough. But there's the fence line and then the tree line, and I have hosta around each tree. There's my, oops, can't really see it. Gotta get over here. There's my hammock swing. And that's the front corner again, and the gate where we just came in. So if we follow this along this way, we'll go into the backyard. Here's the back gate. If you listen, I think you can hear the water before we get in there. So, honey, I'll go this way first. Okay, so this is the outside. There's a whole bunch of sedum. This is the back side of the pergola. Those are Weigelia, which are just starting to shoot some flowers up. So they're unmanicured right now because I don't want to cut all the buds off, but as soon as they're done, I'll shape them up nicely. And then here's the back corner with the sand cherry tree. I love that tree. That's our third attempt at putting a tree there. We really wanted the red maple, Japanese maple, and they kept dying, and we said, okay, we're not buying any more of those, so that one has really flourished there. So this is the back rock wall. I've got all of this, it's called Snow in Summer. It's got these pretty little white flowers. And it's another white flowering thing that's just, I guess you can see a few of them are left. That just finished flowering too, but it looks pretty when it's all in bloom to have the stark white against the red sand cherry. If I turn around this way, this is we used to call it Christmas Tree Island, and this has a whole bunch of the evening primrose that flowers unbelievably, just full of yellow. And we have a lily, we have some irises, but these were 3 little trees that we put in 10 years ago, well, 12 years ago now. And as you can see, we used to wrap them in Christmas lights every year, and they were so pretty, and now they're, I don't know, they're 30 feet tall. It's crazy. Okay, so turn around this way. This is the back line of the property. I'll do the big picture first. We used to just have alternating sage and yellow lilies. So you can see there's the sage, there's a yellow lily, there's a sage. The lilies, they're just starting to get buds on them. Oh, this one's really full down here. Thought I saw one that was in bloom yesterday, but and now it's just all filled in with everything. So there's tons of autumn sedum, tons more lilies. This is the crazy cactus that just, look at all the babies it shoots off. If you put your hand within an inch of it, I swear it shoots things into you, and they stay in there for days. You can't get them out, and they're just really kind of annoying, but it's kind of cool. It's a great big old cactus. I love it. Got that from a neighbor years ago. And these I never planted. These are Asian lilies, Asiatic lilies. Birds brought them into our yard, and they just have gone crazy. There's more sedum. There's more sedum, different kind of sedum. I love all the sedums. They do so well. So this is, I think that's dragon's breath, or that one's dragon's blood. I get them mixed up. That's the very last peony. I just cut them all off because they look so yucky when they're done. And this is where it continues around. But I'm gonna go up here, and I think I'll end this one and continue it.